In today's video, we're going to be talking about Renew Protect, Renew Protect, Renew Protect, and Renew Protect. Let's go. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Turner Mobile Detailing. Like I said at the outset, in today's video, we're going to be talking about a product line from Renew Protect. Now, you may have never heard of them. They're a little bit under the radar as far as auto detailing companies go. Their products are not as widely publicized as, say, a Chemical Guys or an Adams or even a CarPro or a Geon, but they make really good products. So they reached out to me. They asked me if I'd be willing to showcase some of their products in one of my videos. So I said, why not? I've used some of their products in years past, and I've enjoyed using them. And they've updated a lot of their products, so I'm excited to see how they've updated them, if they perform even better than they did before, and if their longevity claims are really true. Now, something that I really like about this company, I'll read it right from their own printout, their little mission statement. It says, "We are a small company that maintains a focus on being the top of technology, quality, and performance. We are not out to sell you lots of products. Our products are designed for longevity, so you will not need repeat applications. The instructions are simple and essential. Please take a minute to read them." And then we get a nice thank you from Doris, Addie, Graham, Jan, and Benny. So this is a small company. I like buying from small companies, and I root for small companies because I myself am a small company. And Doris, she is the one that reached out to me and sent me out these products. And she wanted me to mention that these products have been in development for over 15 years. So they've been at it quite a while. And I want to say too that I really appreciate the statement that we are not out to sell you lots of products. Our products are designed for longevity, so you will not need repeat applications. So they're not concerned with over redundancy like some auto detailing companies are, with having 20 products that essentially do the same thing, and that you need to rebuy or reapply every week or every 6 weeks or whatever. But they're interested in making products that last a long time. And that makes my life easier. That is going to make your life easier because you apply a product once and it's good for a long time. You don't have to keep doing it every week, every other week, even every month. But it saves you a lot of time. You can focus on other areas of your life rather than detailing your car constantly. So we've got 4 products. The first one is the Renew Pro RP.11. It's a SiO2 plus TiO2 ceramic hybrid dry wash. So this is what we would call not a rinseless wash, but a waterless wash. So a rinseless wash is something like O&R, where you put some solution into a bucket of water and you use it like that. You don't necessarily need running water, but you do need a bucket of water. This stuff is what we would call a waterless wash. So you wouldn't even use a bucket of water. You just spray this stuff on the panel, and then you spray some on the microfiber towel, and you gently wipe the dirt away. And this stuff has SiO2 and TiO2 in it, so it's going to leave behind a layer of protection. Now, the directions say spray and wipe onto the surface in workable areas. Wait 2 minutes for coating to haze and bond. Wipe clean with a microfiber towel. Spray again. So later on, when we get to the stage where we're ready for the exterior of the vehicle, we'll showcase this product a little bit more. The next product that we're going to be discussing is the Renew Protect D3 Gloz. This is their tire dressing, or really tire coating, because it's supposed to last a whole year. See here it says once a year application. Now, I've used the previous version of this stuff. It did not say D3, so I'm assuming that they updated the formula. Now it says ceramic hybrid, if you can see that in the camera right there. I'm assuming they've updated their formula. The first time I've used it, I got about, I want to say a month, maybe 6 weeks out of it. But that was years ago. So hopefully they've updated their formula, and maybe it will last a full year. Now, the next product that we're going to be showcasing is the D3 Renew Protect Black. This is also a tire coating or tire dressing. I'm pretty sure this is not as much of a tire coating as the Gloz is, but it is a black pigmented tire dressing / coating, but it can also be used on your trim, which I believe the Gloz can also be used on the trim. And this also touts a once a year application method. So again, we're going to see if that holds up. This vehicle, the gray Tesla Model Y that you see behind me, it is a regular client of mine. I see this car about every 6 weeks. I do a maintenance cleaning interior and exterior, so we're going to be using these products both on the inside and outside of this car. And again, I see this car every 6 weeks, so I'll be able to keep up with the longevity and see how it's doing and make regular updates for you guys to see and for me to see too. Now, the final product that we're going to be looking at today is the D3 Renew Protect Dash. Now, obviously this goes on the interior of the vehicle, so we've already got the interior already cleaned and ready for some light protection. So now this stuff is more than just light protection. It says right here on the bottle, the permanent interior protectant. So we're going to be starting off with this product because I always get my interiors done first. So let me start off by reading the directions, or a little description actually first. This is a polymer ceramic blend, restores color depth, ozone and UV block, prevents dry rot, dry seal, safe, low glare, non-toxic. So that low glare statement is what I'm really interested in. If it lasts a long time, that's great, but I really want a low glare from my interior dressings. I do not like a greasy, oily, high gloss looking interior dressing, especially on the dash, because it creates glare off the, reflects off the dashboard, especially during the day, a sunny day, and can severely hinder the safety of your driving during the day. The directions say, shake before use, liberally apply to a clean, dry, cool, protectant-free surface in the shade. So that's already done. All the surfaces are clean and ready to go, and we're working in the shade. Wipe on, do not rub or buff. Remove overlap with damp towel. Allow 10 minutes dry time. Shine and color enhanced with each application. New or protectant saturated surfaces will require multiple cleanings before treatment. So this car is not new. It's about a year or so old, and it's got nothing on it. The most I use on this is a little water-based dressing every about 6 weeks, and that stuff lasts, I want to say, about 3 to 4 weeks on average. So I've actually wiped down everything with a mild alcohol, so all our interior surfaces are totally clean and bare. It says if protectants have been used more than twice a year, then Dash is not recommended. Use at your own risk. D3 Renew Protect is not liable for misuse. So normal boilerplate liability stuff there. All right, so without further ado, we're going to be doing obviously the dash in this Tesla Model Y, and any belt line and up touchable surfaces like the armrest, the interior door panels, stuff like that, the steering wheel. It also says dash panels, coated leather, steering, seals, mats, plastic, vinyl, rubber. So this stuff can pretty much coat anything inside your vehicle. We're not going to do that much today. Like I said, just from the belt line up, we're going to do, and including the interior door panels. So let's get started. So the first thing I want to do is get some before footage so you can see what the plastics and the leather, in this case in the Tesla's leatherette, looked like before we apply any kind of protection, before we apply Renew Protect Dash. Now I'm using a clean, brand new microfiber towel over a microfiber applicator pad or disc, because a towel can be conformed into much tighter spaces and get in all those nooks and crannies much better than an applicator pad can. Dash goes on very easily. Its thin, water-like consistency is so easy to spread and work into the substrate. Make sure to spend some time with it though. Work it in good and evenly on the surface so as to avoid streaking and unevenness. Something I like about it is that it leaves a very subtle sheen. Some interior coatings leave no sheen behind at all, only protection. So the interior surfaces are protected, but they look completely OEM. Personally, I like an interior dressing, or in this case an interior coating, to leave behind a little bit of a sheen that not only enhances the appearance of the surface while protecting it, but also lets you know visually that there's something there. All right, we've given Renew Protect Dash between 10 and 15 minutes to dry to fully set up. So now let's take a look back inside this Tesla to see just how the surfaces that were treated with Renew Protect Dash came out. The interior door panel looks very nice. It looks very uniform. There is even a scuff on the armrest here, the driver's side armrest, and it appears to be either gone or completely hidden. So that is really, really nice. It didn't look like it was going to go away when I first applied the product, but now after it's had a chance to fully dry and cure, it looks like the Renew Protect dash has totally masked or even removed the scuff altogether. Now let's take a look at the dash, the center console, and the steering wheel. Definitely not too much sheen on the dash as to cause a driving hazard. So let's take a look at a couple more interior door panels. I really hope the camera is picking up just how nice these materials look now. They've got a very subtle satin matte sheen to them, not glossy whatsoever. And they're completely dry to the touch. I'm not getting any residue, any oils on my gloves. Okay, so that's going to do it for my review and the segment of this video on Renew Protect Dash. I was really impressed with it. Again, it left a really nice finish behind, very uniform and very easy to use. It's very liquidy, very loose. It's basically the consistency of water. So if you're going to use it and dribble it onto a microfiber towel, or if you want to use an applicator, you want to be careful as when you're turning the bottle back over to not drip any on the surfaces or any surfaces that you don't want the product on. So that's just about the only thing that I would say to be careful with this product, but other than that, it did a really nice job. It even masked some minor damage in the leather and interior surfaces, made it look like it was brand new again. So the only other thing to try out with this stuff is really to see how long it's going to last. So obviously we can't test that today. So in another 6 weeks I'm going to do another update and we'll see where it's at then. So now let's move on to our next set of products, Renew Protect RP.11, Gloz and Blak. Okay, so the next product that we're going to be testing out is the Renew Protect RP.11. Again, it's the SiO2 plus TiO2 ceramic hybrid dry wash. Now the dry wash again means that it's a waterless wash, not a rinseless wash like ONR, but it's a waterless wash, which means you spray it directly onto the panel and directly onto a microfiber, a dry panel really, and then wipe it down gently, but you wipe it down just like that. So I recommend not doing it that way, and not just with this stuff, but with any waterless wash. That way you mitigate the risk of scratching your vehicle. This form of washing, waterless washing, is the most dangerous form of washing your vehicle because you're dealing with all the dirt that's still on the panel, and there's really little lubrication compared to, say, a foam wash or a bucket wash or even a rinseless wash. But the directions do speak to that a little bit. Let's read that. Spray and wipe onto the surface in workable areas. Wait 2 minutes for coating to haze and bond. Wipe clean with a microfiber towel. Spray again, flip towel to clean side, and buff to a high gloss. Creates a color enhancing hydrophobic seal. Do not use to clean heavy dirt and debris. So there you have it. They tell you right there, do not use on heavily soiled vehicles. So in other words, if you just took your Jeep or your truck mudding, you're not going to want to use this kind of stuff on a vehicle like that. You're going to want to rinse it off first. But whenever I use a product like this, I don't usually use products like this, but in this case I am. So I always recommend spraying the vehicle down first. In this case, I've already pressure washed the whole vehicle down. I cleaned the wheels and tires already. So anything loose, anything that's not going to come off, like road film or traffic film, is still on the panel. So that's what this stuff is for. So again, the directions, a little confusing. Let's read it again. It says after you've wiped it clean, you let the product sit for 2 minutes and do its thing. Then you wipe it clean, and then you spray again, flip the towel to a clean side, and buff to a high gloss. So I guess we do our 2-minute dwell time, clean it off. That gets rid of the dirt and the debris or the whatever film soiling that's on the panels. And then you spray it again lightly. We're going to flip over to a clean side and then use that to buff it down. So we'll see if this stuff holds up. We'll see how easy it is to use. So again, we've got this Tesla already rinsed down. I power washed it down to give us the safest possible wash that we can while using a waterless wash. So let's get to it. So because it does recommend a 2-minute dwell time on the initial application of this stuff, the first thing I'm going to do is spray down a full side at a time, wait about a minute, and then I'll start on one end to wipe it down, and then it should be about another minute by the time I get to the other end. So you should know with a product like this, I recommend using a lot of it, using a heavy application as to create enough lubrication on the panel to not scratch or swirl your paint. Again, this is the most dangerous way of washing your vehicle. So when using a product like this, you want to try to mitigate that danger as much as possible by using a lot of it. So that means you're going to go through a lot of it. So you want to take that into account when purchasing a product like this. Is really not for heavy washes, but for just a light cleanup. Maybe if the vehicle has some dust on it, maybe the vehicle sits in a garage and it's accumulated a light layer of dust, something like that. But again, as far as heavy dirt, you're not going to want to use a product like this, or you're at least going to want to do a good rinse down from a pressure washer or a high pressure garden hose before a product like this. Okay, so I've let this stuff dwell for about a minute or so. So I'm going to start from the back end where I started before and start wiping the vehicle down from top to bottom. The first thing I'm going to do, of course, is I'm going to saturate my microfiber towel with product. Now again, with a waterless wash, as you move down the vehicle, you're going to want to keep flipping sides fairly often to clean sides of the towel, especially as you work your way from the belt line down, where those are the dirtiest parts of the vehicle. Now, of course, as always, I'll leave links in the description below to all these products and to Renew Protect's website so you can check them out for yourself. All right, so I've done the initial soak and initial wipe down. So I noticed there was a few spots on the panels that the stuff did not remove. I'm gonna have to go back and clean that up after. But now it's time for our second application. The directions say after you've done the first application, the 2-minute soak, then the wipe down, to go back and spray just a little bit more on the panel and wipe it down with a new or clean, dry microfiber. So let's do that now. After I've done a couple sections on the second step, I realized that it's really not necessary to spritz any on the panel. Just spritz a little bit on the towel, 1, maybe 2 spritzes, and that gives you just enough to get the residue from step 1 off, and then flip it over to the dry side of the towel to buff nice and perfect. All right, so the first side of the vehicle is done. It actually is very easy to use. It goes on and comes off very easily. But again, I would not use this for cleaning purposes really, or heavy cleaning purposes, I should say. It doesn't really attack the stubborn stuff like bug guts, bird droppings, things like that. You're going to want to take care of ahead of time, pre-treat them, get them off the panels first before you use a product like this. But other than that, it's really easy to use. Most people know that using a rinseless wash is not used for heavy soiling, so you should be fine for light cleanings with this stuff. And when I buffed it off the final time, it was super slick, super shiny, super glossy, so that's a really big deal. So again, the bottle says 3 to 6 months. We'll see if the product lives up to that claim. This car lives outside 100% of the time. It's a pretty much daily driver, so it gets everyday use and abuse. Now about the plastics, I went ahead and treated the plastic trim with this stuff too. You can use Black and Gloz to treat plastic. We're not going to focus too much on that in this video. We're going to focus more on the paint, again the interior that we did earlier, and the tires. So now let's make our way around the rest of the vehicle. Another downside to using a waterless wash is that unless you put it in a pump sprayer, these things are gonna wear out your forearms and your hands, especially if you're doing large areas at one time. Okay, so I've gotten around the whole vehicle with Renew Protect's RP.11 waterless wash. I didn't bother filming the whole vehicle for you. I didn't want to bore you with the whole thing, but you got to see the full driver's side of the vehicle and the front of the vehicle and the windshield. So my impressions are that it's pretty easy to use. You're essentially putting on 2 coats. The first coat is to wash, and the second coat is to kind of put an extra layer of protection on that first coat. So that's probably why they're estimating 3 to 6 months. Yes, 3 to 6 months of durability, because it has basically 2 coats on it. So my recommendation for use is to use as a wash on a extremely lightly soiled vehicle. Even this car, this Tesla, is, in my opinion, too dirty to use a waterless wash. Something that sits in a garage and has a light layer of dust would be a good candidate for a product like this. Or my main recommendation would be to wash the car like normal, do a full wash, and then come back after you dry the vehicle and use this stuff as a standalone protectant. It's going to give you a light layer of protection, maybe even put 2 coats on it if you want to extend 3 to 6 months. But that's my recommendation. You do a normal wash first and then use this stuff as a standalone sealant or protectant. Okay, so finally we're going to be reviewing Blak and Gloz. Now I don't have a whole lot of time, so I'm going to film me putting each one of them on, and then I'm going to come back and talk to you after, because the customer needs the vehicle sooner than they expected. So I've got to get this this vehicle done, and thus this video done. So let's get the tires done. Now as we get started, I want to make sure you guys know that these tires are thoroughly cleaned. I went ahead and cleaned them 3 times until the suds turned a nice bright white. So they're nice and clean and perfectly ready to receive these tire coatings. Okay, so for our tires, we're going to start at the front driver's side. We're going to do 4 different combinations of these 2 products between all 4 tires. So here on our front driver's side, we're going to do 1 coat of Blak and 1 coat of Gloz. The Blak is very thin, very liquidy, so you can see me here applying it to the applicator. And again, as I said before, it is black. It's a black dye. It's also got some protectants in it, so that's what's going to allow it to last. Now they do recommend that the best combination is a coat of Blak and a coat of Gloz, so that's what we're doing on our front driver's side tire. And the instructions also say for each product to allow 5 minutes of dry time between each coat. Okay, so the first coat of Blak is done on our front driver's tire. Now we're going to move back to the rear driver's side tire, where we're going to be applying 1 coat of Blak and 2 coats of Gloz. So in my estimation, this is probably going to be the best combination, obviously because we're applying 3 layers instead of just 1 or 2. So as you're watching me do the tires, as a side note, I want to mention that I checked the towel that I applied the interior dash product with, and it's pretty hard already. It's only been about, I want to say about half an hour, 45 minutes since I used it, and it's already pretty hard. So that's a big indicator for any ceramic product that it's going to last, that it crystallizes in the towel that you applied it with, or you've at least buffed it off with. So in this case, that's a really good sign for the dash product. Alright, so our first coat is done on our rear driver's side tire. Now let's move over to our front passenger side tire, where we're going to be applying 2 coats of Blak only, no Gloz. As you can see from the applicator itself, it's going to permanently stain the applicator, and I would highly recommend wearing gloves, as I am, because this stuff will stain your hands also. So you want to make sure that Blak is applied nice and even. After you've done each half of the tire, like I'm doing, then go around the whole tire and smooth it all in. And if your tire has a lip between the outer sidewall and the rim, make sure to hit that edge or that lip also. The applicators that Renew Protect provides have a nice sharp point that allow you to get in tight spots like that. Super easy. Okay, now moving on to our rear passenger side tire, where we're going to be applying 2 coats of Gloz and no Blak. So here, as we apply the first coat of Gloz, again, just like the Blak, the product is very thin, very runny. It also looks just like any other tire coating that I've ever used on the market, any legitimate tire coating anyway. It's going to be very thin, milky consistency. It looks white, and then when you put it on the tire, it kind of turns a bluish, violetish tinge until it fully dries to a nice clear finish on the tire. So again, Gloz is a clear finish where black is black. All right, now let's move back to our front driver's side tire. It's been at least 5 minutes, so we're going to be applying our second coat, which is going to be Gloz. So again, our first coat was black, and our second coat is Gloz. Now the black had a nice sheen to it, but the Gloz adds an extra level, an extra depth of sheen to the tire, and of course it should provide extra longevity. Now moving back to our driver's side rear tire, where we've already got a coat of black. Our second coat is going to be of Gloz. Again, we're doing 3 coats on this, 1 coat of black, 2 coats of Gloz. Again, it adds an extra level of depth and gloss to the black that's already on the tire. Now moving on to our front passenger side tire, we've already got 1 coat of black. Now we're going to put on our second coat of black. The first coat of black already looks good, but the second coat looks even better. Again, it adds another layer of depth. Not so much of gloss, but an extra layer of black depth. Again, speaking to the longevity of products like these, I would typically recommend reapplying every 60 to 90 days or so. Now moving on to our rear passenger side tire, where we've already got 1 coat of Gloz. We're going to be doing our second coat and our final coat of Gloz on this tire. Again, going on super easy, even easier than the first coat because it doesn't absorb as much as the first coat does. While the first coat soaked in and became more of a matte to satin finish, the second coat really adds that layer of gloss that we're looking for and sits on top of the first layer, so it really allows the sheen of the product to stand out on the second coat. Okay, so we've waited 5 more minutes. 3 of the tires are done. If you remember, we're going to do a third coat on the driver's side rear tire. We've already got 1 coat of black and 1 coat of Gloz. We're going to do a second coat of Gloz equaling 3 coats. Again, the second coat goes on super easy. The first and second coat of black and Gloz that we did already really absorbed into the tire already. So the third coat stands out even more and adds even more gloss and even more deep, dark depth to the tire than any of the other 3 application combinations. So let's take a look at these coatings after they've had a chance to cure. The front driver's tire with a coat of black and a coat of Gloz looks very nice. Honestly though, they all look very nice. It's hard to tell the difference beyond a couple subtle differences. Now the front passenger tire with 2 coats of black. Very nice. It does have a sheen, but definitely more subtle than the Gloz finished tires. And sliding over to the rear passenger tire with 2 coats of Gloz. Again, very nice. Now we're getting even shinier with the 2 coats of Gloz instead of just the 1. And finishing up with the rear driver's side tire with 1 coat of black and 2 coats of Gloz. Definitely the deepest black and the glossiest finish. You can almost see yourself in the finish. Renew Protect does make a satin finish tire coating if that's your preference, but we don't have that one to work with today. So obviously, because of the 3 coats, I expect this combo to produce the most durability. Let me know in the comment section below which combo, if any, you prefer. Alright guys, so we're going to wrap up this Renew Protect review video. Today we did Gloz, we did black, we did dash on the interior, and we used RP.11 on the paintwork to wash it and to seal it. So we're going to see this vehicle again in 6 weeks to see how all these products are holding up. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to give us a like right down below. And if you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. That way you don't miss any future auto detailing content just like this. Again, I'm Seth with Turner Mobile Detailing, and we'll see you in the next video.